Koco, I should have known. I forgot you'd become a bush celebrity.
As tiresome as it can get, there are some good things about being famous.
What, like putting yourself in celebrity heads?
Exactly.
Anyway, you still have to guess your one.
Okay, so Emmanuel, I'm a real person, I'm not an animal. I lived not 1,000, but 2,000 years ago. I have brown hair. Am I a king?
Yes.
King Arthur?
No.
This is a hard one. I don't know many kings, Katie.
Trust me, Koco, even you know this one.
King Fisher, King Sizebird, King O'Roy, King's Cup.
Try not focusing on the king part.
But you said I'm a king.
Yeah, but not a normal king. He didn't live like a king, he lived like an ordinary man.
Doesn't sound like much of a king to me, but alright. Wait, you said I lived like an ordinary man. So that sounds like I wasn't really an ordinary man. Was I a special man?
Yes, indeed.
Superman.
No. Did Superman live 2,000 years ago?
I thought that was gonna be it. Wait, am I still alive?
Yeah.
Oh, really? 2,000 years and I'm still alive? I'm not an ordinary man at all. I must be God or something.
Yeah, keep going.
Wait, Katie, is Jesus God?
Yep.
So I'm Jesus.
Yeah.
That was harder than I thought. Katie, am I the only one who didn't know that Jesus is God?
No, most people either don't know it or don't believe it. But I'll tell you about one of my friends who went from not believing that Jesus is God to not believing in God at all to then believing in God and then believing that Jesus is God.
Amazing! That sounds exciting!
Let's go!
Come and play with Katie and Koco. That's the way. Get ready, let's go. Flying through the air with Koco, telling stories with Katie. You and I together, meeting my friends that help us every day. Katie and Koco, play and sing, pray and bring. You and I, we do our thing. It's Katie and Koco.
My friend Edith Stein grew up in a Jewish family in a city in Germany that is now part of Poland.
Jewish? Didn't you say once that Jesus was a Jew?
Yes, he was. He chose to be born into the Jewish race and practice the Jewish religion, which he had come to fulfill as the one the Jews had been waiting for. But not all Jews believed that he was really the one they'd been waiting for, as Christians believe. So there are many Jewish people today who still follow the Jewish religion, and Edith was just one of them.
Right. So Jews don't believe that Jesus is God?
That's right. And that's what Edith grew up believing, until she was 14, when she came to a point where she stopped praying and stopped believing in God altogether. Her father had died when she was only 2, and left with 11 children to look after. Edith's mother wasn't able to bring up all her children as strongly in their Jewish faith as she would have liked.
Edith was very young when she stopped believing in God, Katie. What did she believe in after that?
Edith was extremely intelligent and excelled in all her studies, achieving high results in university and becoming a passionate fighter for women's rights. Yet, despite her success and fascination with the new intellectual ideas of the day, those passing things could not satisfy her. She was searching for something more, but she didn't know where to find it.
She was looking for Jesus, wasn't she, Katie? Only she didn't know that's who she was looking for. Did she know anything about him?
In university, she first came to know about the Catholic faith. But although she was interested, she wasn't convinced to believe in Jesus just yet.
What made her change?
It was a long process. Her studies kept leading her closer and closer. Her experience as a nurse during World War I left her feeling empty, and she began to notice how different Catholics were to other people. One day, she saw a Catholic woman walking down the street and enter the church she happened to be passing by. Edith was surprised to see the woman come in, not for any particular service, but simply to kneel down for a brief prayer on her way home from the marketplace, as though she was stopping to have an intimate conversation with a friend.
Did no one do that in her religion when she was growing up?
No. She had never seen anything like it from any Jews or other Christians.
So now did she believe in Jesus since she had seen that woman speaking with Jesus?
Not yet. As she continued to study and talk with Christians, she became more and more convinced that God was real after all. But believing in Jesus was still a step she wasn't ready to take.
She really didn't want to rush into it, didn't she?
Not at all, Koco. She was one of the smartest women in Europe. If she was going to believe something and devote her life to it, she wanted to be certain that it was the truth. She wasn't going to turn her life around just based on some feelings and experiences.
I suppose that makes sense. She's definitely smarter and wiser than me. I jump into things all the time without knowing much about it. It has to say, kids, but you should probably try to be a bit smarter like Edith was.
Hey, but I know something you kids can follow Koco in.
Really?
You can be as eager as Koco is to learn about our friends in heaven and try to be like them.
Oh yeah, I guess I can. But Edith was probably more eager to learn, wasn't she, Katie?
Yeah, I do have to admit that. But just because others can do something more or even better than us, it doesn't mean that our own efforts don't count at all. It would be boring if we were all the same.
Yeah, I'm glad God has made us all different, but still be able to follow the example of other people. So what was Edith's next step in coming to believe in Jesus?
She read the New Testament,
Well, what's that?
the second half of the Bible, which tells all about Jesus. Growing up a Jew, Edith had only known the Old Testament, which tells all about the story of God leading his people Israel towards him. Christians believe in both the Old and the New Testament, but Jews only followed the Old Testament.
Was she convinced after hearing about Jesus in the New Testament then?
Almost, Koco. She was getting really close. As well as the New Testament, she read some spiritual books written by other Catholic saints and scholars. But it wasn't until she stayed up one night reading the life of our friend Saint Teresa of Avila that she finally became convinced. She had found the truth.
Hooray, at last!
She was baptized soon after and returned home straight away.
Wait, really? I wonder how her family was going to react now that she had become a Catholic.
Mother, I'm a Catholic.
Well, she didn't waste her time about that.
Why did you have to get to know him? Jesus, I mean. I'm not saying anything against him, but why did he have to go and make himself God?
It must have hurt Edith that her family didn't like that she had come to believe in Jesus.
Probably. But Edith never let it separate them. As a Catholic, she grew to love her Jewish faith even more than when she had been a practicing Jew, because now she saw how Jesus fulfilled all the promises God made to the Jewish people.
Did her life change much after becoming a Catholic?
Oh yes, more than she would ever have imagined. She became so in love with Jesus that as soon as she was allowed to, she entered a Carmelite convent in Germany, taking the name Teresa Benedicta of the Cross, and devoting her life to God while still continuing her studies and writing many things.
It would have been pretty different for her going into the convent and leaving behind the world she was so familiar with.
It was different, but not how she thought it would be. She had thought that when you enter religious life, you had to leave everything behind and only focus on God. But she discovered that it wasn't the world she had to forget about, it was herself, so that she could bring God into the world.
And did she bring God into the world?
Yes, but in a rather tragic way, other than her prayers and writings and teachings, of course.
Tragic? What happened?
Before long, World War II began, and Jews began to seriously suffer under the Nazi control of Germany and other parts of Europe.
But I thought she had become a Catholic. That meant she was safe, right?
She may have become a Catholic, but she was still part of the Jewish race, even if she didn't practice the Jewish religion. She had already lost her teaching position at the university because she was a Jew before she had become a nun. But now that the war had started, things were getting worse, and she was moved to a convent in Holland for safety.
Phew! What would happen to her if she got caught by the Nazis?
The Nazis wanted to get rid of all the Jews, so they were gradually taking them all away to terrible places called concentration camps, where many, many Jews ended up getting killed.
That's horrible. Lucky Eve got moved to safety, but she must have been so afraid for her people.
She prayed for them and made sacrifices for them every day, Koco. But soon, she was forced to offer the greatest sacrifice for love of Jesus and her Jewish people.
Wow, please don't tell me she got captured. I thought she was brought to safety.
The Catholic bishops in Holland were outraged at the terrible things the Nazis were doing to the Jews. So they wrote a public document condemning the Nazis. But do you think the Nazis were going to listen and stop attacking the Jews?
I doubt that.
Unfortunately, you're right. Instead of listening, they fought back and made a new effort to arrest all Jews who were converted to Catholicism.
Oh no, was Edith kept safe still?
Both Edith and her sister Rosa, who had also converted and become a Carmelite, were soon arrested and sent off to a concentration camp along with all the other Jews.
Sad, sad, sad. At least she had a sister with her, I guess. Did she help the other Jews? They must have been pretty sad.
Edith was determined to live up to her religious name, Blessed of the Cross, and accept this great cross she had been given to carry alongside Jesus. Though she was only in the camp for 1 week before she died, she didn't let those precious days go to waste. Picture this. You're in a crowded, dirty place surrounded by frightened strangers and fierce guards. You don't know where you are or where your family is. You're hungry, tired, and cold, and you don't know what is going to happen to you. Even your own mum is too sad to look after you, and you can't help crying along with the others. But then, through the tears in your eyes, you see a woman. She is different. Although you can see she is deeply sad, you can tell she isn't thinking about her own misery. She is looking around at everyone else and suffering because they are suffering. She is sitting beside another woman who is crying with her arms around her and her lips moving, maybe in prayer, maybe speaking words of comfort. Then she sees you looking at her, and you see something you've almost forgotten. A smile. She gets up and makes her way over to you, offering you her arms in place of your mother's, and giving you her coat to keep you warm. She tells you to trust in God and make sure that when the guards come handing out scraps of food, you are given something to eat.
Is that what Edith was like in the concentration camp, Katie?
That's what she was like to everyone around her. She forgot herself and instead focused on bringing the love and peace of God to her despairing people around her. That was how she spent her last days on earth, comforting and praying for her people. They didn't know Jesus, so she became like Jesus for them.
I bet she's still praying for us and her people in heaven.
I'm certain of it. Let's ask her especially. Dear Saint Teresa Benedicta of the Cross, thank you for never giving up on your search for truth and for surrendering to Jesus once you found him. Help us to always see the truth in Jesus as God and to bring him out into the world in whatever way we can. Please pray for all students for success in their studies and for the Jewish people that their love for God will never fade. Ready?
Katie.
I'm tall when I'm young and short when I'm old. What am I?
Ah, that's what. If only I was smart as St. Edith Stein, I could probably know this riddle straight away. St. Edith, pray for me and the kids to guess this riddle. Wait, what was it again, Katie?
I'm tall when I'm young and short when I'm old. What am I? Got any ideas?
Wait, I think someone's speaking to me. It might be St. Edith.
Whoa,
She said, is it a candle?
it is a candle. Because before you use a candle, it's tall, isn't it? But the
Yeah.
more you use it, it gets shorter and shorter and shorter.
That's exactly what she said.
Good. I hope it's what the kids were thinking too.
You know what, Katie? I think Edith was like a candle.
Really? Why's that?
Because she was smart, so she was bright like a flame. And she was kind, so she's warm like a flame. And she spread her knowledge and happiness to everyone around her.
Good thinking, Koco. I like your analogy.
I want to be like a candle too. Are we gonna make a candle for craft today?
Not a candle. Come and see and I'll show you what we're really gonna make.
Come on, kids!
Hey, welcome back to Craft. Welcome back to Craft, Koco.
Welcome back!
You excited?
Yeah!
I'm excited too, and I hope you kids are excited as well. Because today we're going to be making a Star of David / cross window. Now, why are we making that? Well, remember how St. Edith Stein started out, she was Jewish, and at the end she became a Christian, and she still loved her Jewish faith even while she was a Christian, and she brought the two together. So we're going to be making a Star of David to remind us of her Jewish faith, and also a cross to remind us of her Christian faith and bring them together, and a little window. And here's what we need. So I've got some silver card, some yellow cellophane, glue, a ruler, pencil, scissors, and some tape. Let's get started, shall we, Koco?
Yeah, Katie!
Good thinking. I reckon we should. All right, let's start making the shapes of the cross and the Star of David. So I'm going to use 1/2 for the cross and 1/2 for the Star of David. So I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to cut that in half. So now this is going to be my Star of David. So I'm going to fold it in half again. Then I'm going to cut off this corner. And remember, don't cut the corner off that is the folded part. Cut the corner off that has the free parts here. I'm going to cut that corner off. So then when you open it out, you'll have two triangles opposite each other. There we go. Put those to the side. Now just to check, we should have two triangles, one on this side, one on this side. Now to make the star shape, we're going to cut out a smaller triangle out of this triangle. So along this folded edge, not the free edges, we're going to cut another triangle. I'm going to get a ruler and a pencil, draw a line there. And from that point, I'm going to draw a line up here, leaving a bit of space again. Like that. Then I'm going to cut out that triangle shape. Now we're just left with this triangle here with a hole in the middle and another one here. And we're going to separate those two triangles by cutting the middle across like this. Cut along that crease line. There we go, now I've got two triangles. And this is where the magic happens. Koco, how do you think we're going to make two triangles into a star? Do you know?
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, lucky I'm going to tell you. So, got one triangle here, one triangle here, and we're going to make them opposite ends this way. So they're both pointing opposite ways. Now I'm going to make one fold into the other one like this. And that's going to make our star shape. Look at that. Does that look like a star to you, Koco? Look at that.
Yeah.
Now to make that nice and secure, we're going to stick it down with some sticky tape. Here we go. Stick them together. One there. So that's our Star of David done. So we'll put that to the side for now. I'll trim that edge off. Fold it again. This one's pretty small. I'm going to cut off our corner. Now we're going to, instead of cutting along the folded edge, we're going to cut along the free edge. Okay, so with your pencil and your ruler, draw where you need to cut. So leaving a space. You've got to cut out that triangle. Take off the middle bit. And instead of having two triangles, look what you have, a cross. Look at that. How cool is that, Coco?
Well,
Awesome, isn't it? And then we're going to join that up with this Star of David. The cross is going to go in the middle. We might need to make it a little bit thinner, don't you reckon? And here's our cross, which will go in the middle. And then we can stick that down on the other side. So we've got our Star of David and the cross in the middle. There we go.
yeah.
There's our window base. Now we just need to make it so it's nice and pretty to look through. So that's why we've got this yellow cellophane over here. Now let's see how much we need. So we're gonna glue that down. So on the back of your star and cross, you can put lots of glue. I'll put that over. Stick that there. And we can stick the other side on that side. So we'll put some more glue. And stick that side down like this. Trim the edges of the cellophane. There we go. Our Star of David and cross window. You can look through.
Wow, it looks so golden.
Wow, look at that. How cool does that look, Coco? Do you want to have a look through?
Coco.
Look through the window.
Wow.
Wow. Look. So the Jewish and the Christian faith that Edith Stein loved so much joined together in this window. Hey kids, if you'd like extra instructions on how to make your very own Star of David cross window, you can find it at swpals.org, and Coco and I would love to see you making your own windows, and you can upload a picture of you and your craft on the same website. See you there, have fun.
Have fun. Katie, let me see through the window.
Here you go.
Wow. Everything looks yellow. It's like a real star twinkling right in front of me.
Yeah, not quite the candle you wanted, but not far off, hey.
Yeah, I like this. Hey, kids, what if you made like 1 million of these like little windows and stuck them on your windows at home? And then you could always look through them. That's what I would do if I lived in a house.
Lucky you live in a tree then.
Yeah, too bad I don't have any windows, except this one.
Maybe you could hang it on a branch.
Good idea. You're just as bright as Edith, Katie.
Oh, I wish.
Me too, but I think the window might help. Bye, kids. Have fun with your windows.
Bye, kids. Have fun with my friends. St. Edith Stein, what a good friend of mine.
Come and play
with Katie and Koco.
that's the way.
Get ready, let's go.
Flying through the air with Koco,
Telling stories with Katie.
you and I together, meeting my friends, friends that help us every day,
Katie and Koco.
that help us every day.
Katie and Koco. Play and sing.
Pray and bring you and I, we do our thing. It's Katie and Koco.
Are you searching for answers? Discover your true identity. Stay tuned to Shalom World.